WrestleMania 42 Night 2 Hot Takes, where I take your thoughts, your opinions, your hot takes from the previous episode of WrestleMania 42 Night 2, Raw, SmackDown, and or PLEs. And if they bring back Capital Punishment, I'm going to do hot takes for that too. So yesterday, decisions were made. John Cena won the Undisputed Championship, and you can win the Undisputed Championship as well. All you got to do is comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell. Ding, ding, ding. Notification, trying to quit the day job, and I'm trying to get 20,000 subscribers. That's when I give it away. In fact, I give away a belt every 10,000 subscribers. So comment below and enter, subscribe, all that good stuff, and you can win. All right, let's get started because I've got opinions, and so do you. This is from Mikey Jewell. The way the match with Cena and Cody went needed to happen. Cena's whole character arc right now is literally him ruining wrestling and acting this exact certain way, doing the least possible effort to get the job done. The way the match made you feel was supposed to be the whole goal. I'm really excited to see what happens next. I do not agree with that statement, but I'm going to read a couple statements and then we're going to discuss. And no matter what though, even if I disagree, believe it or not, we can disagree with each other and still enjoy each other's company in a wrestling community because your opinion is valid even if I don't share it. And same, vice versa. Let's just be respectful towards each other. Then we got M. Slide. The main event was so disappointing that it's going to drive a lot of fans away. I agree with this one. Travis Scott has no business being in the WWE ring, and his insertion into the match felt extremely forced and ruined what was supposed to be the finale of John Cena's career, well, his WrestleMania career. Then we got 02 Depender. We love Cena won his 17th, but the way the match ended and no involvement of The Rock or Rollins is really disappointing. And then some people will be like, oh, well, The Rock was never advertised. Come on, give me a break. The Rock showed up at the beginning of the storyline, got the ball rolling, and then, you don't have to say The Rock is going to be there for us. Like, you led us to the conclusion that The Rock was going to be there, but I said I'd bite my tongue until I read a couple of these. We're going to start talking in a minute. I just couldn't stop because The Rock has made me so mad for not showing up. I've definitely got feelings. Definitely got feelings about The Rock not being there. We got Jesse Joy. I liked the Cena match. The ending was terrible. Yikes. Jesse Joy, by the way, I've seen you commenting down the videos. I just want you to know that you are seen and I am reading everything you say. Welcome to the channel. We got Wentworth. I'll start responding after this. Wentworth. Cena did exactly what he said he was going to do. Ruin wrestling. No fancy entrance. No fancy moves. No excitement in the match. No Rock because that would be entertaining. Have TS, Travis Scott, come out and ruin all interest in the match by taking you right out of the match. He did everything he said he would do. We get nothing. Okay, so I think that last statement really sums up. There's like two camps right now, and I am not in the camp that this was cinema. Cinema, get it? Cinema. I can't take credit for that. Daniel Pabu actually came up with that. Subscriber of the channel, and he also manages our Twitter account. Please go follow on Twitter. So John Cena did say, in all fairness, I'm going to ruin wrestling. You get nothing. And so now, when we build up to a WrestleMania main event, and the match is, let's just say, lackluster and boring. Let's just say god-awful. When we get that, it's like, see? John Cena told us it's all part of the story. Okay. So I just want you to fully understand that I understand that, because some people are in my comments saying, Chop, you don't understand. John Cena, he wanted you to feel this way because he's trying to ruin wrestling for you, and that's why it's so brilliant. Hey, okay, cool. But here's my counterpoint to that. It was the main event of WrestleMania. If he wants to do this on like a random episode of Raw, get me so fired up because he's not doing anything that I want him to do, that would be brilliant. That would be fun and awesome. In fact, I love that he came out with almost no fanfare, no special entrance, just a black, lighting with just his name, John Cena. That I like that even. No thrills, no frills, whatever the case may be. But here's my problem with the fact that he gave us the match that he gave us. Because I'm 36 years into watching wrestling. I started at WrestleMania 5, all right? Did the math. That means I've watched wrestling for 36 years. I'm going to watch wrestling no matter what. Like, John Cena can't really ruin wrestling for me. I've witnessed women in the world of wrestling. I've witnessed women giving birth to hands. Like, you're like, what do you mean hand? Yeah, Mae Young gave birth to a hand. Katie Vick, Kerwin White. What about It Wasn't My Fault and kicking a baby into the the audience? And please don't Google Katie Vick, and please don't Google Kerwin White. Don't subject yourself to that. What about Trish Stratus barking like a dog? You know what? Let's talk dogs. I can think of two on the top of my head of where Matt Hardy implies that he killed his brother's dog, or Big Boss Man fed the dog pepper to Al Snow, or Earthquake literally sitting and killing a snake. People thinking that Americana Grande is Chad Gable. We've had to sit through and endure so much. You are not going to ruin wrestling for us hardcore fans. Whether you like it or not, we're here. We got an abusive relationship with both of us. I criticize you and you embarrass me. I can't quit wrestling. I'm too far in. But it's like, I've seen some things in wrestling that you're not going to ruin wrestling for me. Whatever you do, you're not going to really ruin wrestling for me unless you let Goldberg win and become the new tribal chief, and then he holds the title for 4 years. That's about the only way you are going to ruin wrestling for me. Look, I still got my little shiny sticker on. Let me get rid of that. There, shiny sticker. So, that said, my worry is you're going to ruin wrestling for the people you shouldn't ruin wrestling for, and that are new fans. New fans. Imagine WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble are two great ways to introduce people to wrestling, okay? It's two awesome moments to say, hey, come and be a new wrestling fan with me. Let's sit down and watch it together. Or just new eyes, whatever the case may be. Oh, John Cena turned heel? I want to go back and watch that. So now these new eyes go and watch the John Cena match, and they're like, wait, this sucks. This is boring. It's lame. So John Cena, his whole character arc, right, is to ruin wrestling. What, for me, the 36-year-old who's never gonna stop watching wrestling no matter what? So all he did was hurt new fans. And if you're okay with, like, ruining a new fan's experience of wrestling to the point that they don't want to come back and watch wrestling for the sake of a storyline, then I can't get behind that. I just cannot fundamentally get behind anything that could hinder the ability of a new fan. Like, a new fan, to me, is more important than me, myself. I would rather a 36-year-old fan get so offended at wrestling that they quit watching than 5 new fans. Because you know what? We need these 5 new fans to be the next generation, to keep the machine of WWE going. Because, like, what do I got? Like 10, 15 more years on me before I'm put in the ground? Sorry to get so dark here, but, like, you gotta replace me. I'm replaceable, but these new fans are not. So when they give us a match, a main event match, and build it up with one of the greatest heel turns that could have been, and everything leads to an exciting climax, and then they give us nothing? Why? Because John Cena wants to give me, the 36-year-old fan, nothing? He wants to ruin wrestling for me? No, you're not ruining wrestling for me, John. You're not. And you also knew that we wanted you to win the 17th title. So if you really wanted to ruin wrestling for me, you would have just not won the belt, because I'm very, very happy you won the belt. And, okay, so what John Cena did was, he didn't ruin wrestling for me. He might have ruined the main event of WrestleMania 41 for me, but I'm still going to watch wrestling. I'm still excited to see what happens. But you've ruined wrestling for these fans who are just who were dipping their toes in. And so I guess if that was the goal, to ruin wrestling for people and make sure they never come back, okay, well then I just don't agree with that storyline. That is a storyline that I cannot fully get behind. And you might even be thinking, that's the brilliance of it, Chop. Like, I don't know what to tell you. There's like, I get it. But at the same time, I just don't agree with it. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Like, for example, my editor, the editor of most of these videos on this channel, if they're good edits, it's him. If they're bad edits, it's me. But the editor on this channel does not really like wrestling. He's not really interested in wrestling. Never said I hate wrestling, but just doesn't know anything too much. Doesn't know too much about wrestling other than a very, very, very casual fan. They and we don't talk wrestling, whatever, but they said that they might watch WrestleMania this year. I was super excited because I want them to like wrestling, because I want everybody to like wrestling. I like wrestling, and I want everybody to like wrestling. Every single human in the world should like wrestling, and I truly believe that we could solve all of the world problems in Hell in the Cell. If we have a tariff disagreement, well, let's put all the leaders of the tariff agreements in Hell in the Cell. Whoever wins, they get to call the tariff situation. Please, no political comments in the comment section. I will either ban you or hide you if you start talking politics. But that said, the editor, he's going to go watch wrestling, and I'm like super excited. He wants to see the John Cena match because of what they've seen in popular media, pop culture, and I'm super excited about this, right? And yesterday, when I got done watching WrestleMania Night 2, I thought to myself, God, I hope they did not watch it last night. I literally thought, I hope they did not watch it last night. Or I hope they only caught the first match, because the first match was a banger. The first match was awesome. The first half of Night 2 was so good, from Io, Bianca, Rhea, even though I wanted Bianca to win. Then we got Drew, Damian Priest. Then we get the quadruple threat, the Fatal Four, Penta, Dom, Finn, Braun Breaker. I was like, I really hope they started watching WrestleMania, and then they got busy. Something happened, and they had to leave, because I don't think that anybody who was new to wrestling watched that main event and thought to themselves, wow, John Cena wrestled a boring match, and I cannot wait to see how boring his next match is, because a month ago he said he was going to ruin wrestling. I don't think anybody said that. So, like, if you love that storyline, that's fine, and there's a time and place for it even. Mick Foley did this in ECW, actually. ECW was a Philly Northeast promotion back in the 90s. It was all about, hardcore wrestling, basically. Where hardcore wrestling comes from in America, it's basically ECW. And Mick Foley, Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love, Mick Foley, when he was leaving ECW, he decided to ruin ECW by only doing headlocks and stuff. And the fans, they booed the crap out of him. But that was okay, because he was on his way out and he was gaining heat, and it was to put someone over. But there's a difference. ECW was seen by 100,000 people? This was WrestleMania main event. You don't do that here. You can do that on 4 weeks of Raw. You can do that in certain situations, but this was not the time and space to do it. Does that make sense? We got I'm very happy for the people who really like this storyline of John Cena boring you. I hope John Cena goes on to bore you even more. I hope you are so bored that your entertainment level is off the roofs with how bored you are. But it's the new people who I'm afraid for. And, I don't know. I get it. I get that I'm going to ruin wrestling. Mission accomplished, John Cena. You turned so many people away from wrestling last night. And storyline-wise, but, let's be real here. like, that's not the goal. The goal is to bring new fans in. So that's that. And I do have an opinion on the Travis Scott being a part of it. I have an opinion on The Rock not being a part of it. But like overall, in the grand scheme of things, like this match could have happened. This match could have happened, and it could have been great. John Cena could have, like, been slow and methodical. He could have changed his wrestling. He could have still called out his moves and stuff. There were ways to ruin wrestling, but still make it entertaining for new fans, and I don't think they did that here. I think it was a miss. And I'm not quitting wrestling. I still love wrestling. So on some levels, John Cena, you failed. I love wrestling still. And I'm very happy that you won the 17th title because it's well deserved. And let's go to some other hot takes. Dez says, I really liked night 2. It wasn't underwhelming. It was kind of the opposite from night 1. Night 1, it felt like everything was okay and the main event was great. And night 2, it felt like everything was great and the main event was okay. So it was like a reverse. So really enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I'm even glad if you really enjoyed the John Cena angle. I don't want to take anyone's joy away. It's just I just fundamentally don't agree with it at the same time, which is okay if we don't agree with each other. Next up, we got KLJ779. The Rock was right not to show. This was his revenge for Rock versus Roman getting derailed last year. Why should he come and make the match interesting to save Cody once again? If that's the case, I can on some levels understand Rock just being busy. Though I would say that if you know you're going to be too busy to pay off WrestleMania, then Rock, you know the business more than that, and you should respect the business more than that, and then just don't show up. I don't mind The Rock just showing up for a random Rock concert on Friday if like it doesn't derail storylines, but if you know that you're going to derail a storyline and become like a huge part of it, like you're literally part of the biggest heel turn since Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin in the 90s, then you need to commit and be a part of WrestleMania, be a part of the storyline, or just show up and do your little goosebump thing, do that and enjoy a night. You deserve to come and go as you please, but you don't deserve to come and go and disrupt storylines. That's not what you deserve. And so I'm not saying don't show up, Rock, but I am saying don't come and disrupt storylines. And if you're saying to me that The Rock did this for revenge, well, The Rock signed off last year. Are you telling me that Cody had so much stroke that he was like, no, Rock, I'm wrestling. No. The Rock actively decided to take himself out of the main event and give it to Cody Rhodes. Whether or not that was a wrong or right decision, The Rock made the decision. It was all on him last year. All on him. Yeah, we hashtagged, we want Cody, but at the end of the day, The Rock could have did whatever he wanted to do last year, and that's what he decided. So if he's trying to get revenge for last year, well, he needs to look in the mirror. Tis Mickey, LOL, so Cody could hit AJ Styles with the steel chairs at Backlash last year. After the match was over, by the way, he actually said, I quit. And he could pose on top of a mangled Kevin Owens, but he couldn't hit Cena with the title. Why? You know what, like Tiz Mickey, that is 100% accurate, and I gotta tell you something, I'm being 100% legit. You should consider doing a YouTube channel. Your takes and your comments just are so spot on, it's amazing. Donatello Leonardo, I'm sorry, but Lyra is nowhere near close enough to be a double champ. I don't even care that Becky or Bayley didn't show up, but Liv and Raquel have been one of the best things in the product recently, and Lyra has been an afterthought at best. She should not even be on Liv's level, in my opinion, and this is coming from a huge Rhea Ripley fan. He is a very huge Rhea Ripley fan. You know what, they should have taken the belts off Liv and Raquel. I hope they get it back, but you're right, this was just... I don't agree with it. I had a little bit of a different opinion last night, but there was a subscriber who actually talked me into seeing that Becky should not just come and get belts. It's like, why are we so harsh on Charlotte for just coming in and getting belts when Becky literally does that? I know this is about Lyra, but I've made it about Becky now too. Why is Lyra getting the tag team championships? Liv Morgan and Raquel have been putting in the work, and it's not fair to them. It's not fair to them, whether you like Lyra or not, or even Becky or not. It's not fair to just show up. And let that be a lesson also. If you have a respectful dialogue in the comments below, you might change my opinion. I might change yours too, but as long as we have a dialogue, we can discuss things. Damian King, I know people are going to complain that The Rock wasn't there, but remember, the final boss is always 10 steps ahead. He possibly sent Travis there in his place and is working towards something big. I'm one of those people who are complaining. I've already said why, but I just wanted to let people know that there is another side of the fan base that is okay with The Rock not being there, or at least being a little more patient than I am. DDE Nation, why did they treat Joe Henry as a jobber? He lost in 5 minutes. I think it was 3 minutes, actually. If I was TNA, I would be mad, and they made the champion look like an actual joke. And then someone responded, though, and they said, compared to a Hall of Famer like Randy Orton, he is just a meme. And I get what people are saying. It's like, no, he should just be glad that he was there at WrestleMania, and he should just be glad that he fought Randy Orton, which is true. He should be. Like, some people never make it to WrestleMania. So on one hand, yes, Joe Hendry should be happy. That's the human Joe Hendry, the boyhood dream of Joe Hendry. But I will say this, Fat Shady actually said this in the live chat yesterday. Mark with a Mouth, he basically, I forget, that's the person who I referenced in my review last night. He said that what this guy just said, you buried TNA. You buried TNA. So from a kayfabe perspective, you did bury TNA, and because that's their champion. If Joe Hendry had lost the championship, even for just the weekend, to win it back next week at TNA, then everything would have been fine. But the problem is you had your TNA champion walk in and get beat. I would hate for Jey Uso to go to New Japan and lose, because that would make New Japan superior over to WWE. When it's your championship belt, you should always try to make that as strong as possible. And like I said, the fix was this. Have Joe Hendry lose on your TNA program, and then have him win it next week. And then in the middle, you have your WrestleMania matchup. Fat Shady, the guy who actually brought it to my attention, said, I want to go and mention what I said earlier. The handling of the TNA champion was ridiculous. I don't care if people consider TNA a second or third rate tier, whatever. They are a company, and they have stood the test of time and continue even when people were sure they would about to fail. That is 100% true, and TNA should have more respect for themselves. MKO edits, not a hot take. Dom deserved it. Absolutely right. So happy for Dom. Shadow, the fact that we had two identical finishes on one WrestleMania card with Io and Dom hitting diving finishes on two people sucks a lot. Law of diminishing returns. I will say this, I did not notice it at the time. I was just so thrilled by both matches that it wasn't until I read comments that I realized that the finish was the exact same. And so I'm not going to make excuses, because you shouldn't do that. That is like, that's like AEW stuff right there. But I will say that in the moment, it didn't matter. But, come on, this is WrestleMania. We're like, we know better. You don't do two of the same thing. The smartest idiot, Dom needs a dude wife sponsorship. He really does. He really does. That would be hilarious. They already put his face on toilet paper, so let's just go the distance. Charlie MYXR, so happy for Dom. Best Mania moment of the weekend. I would probably say that too. Yeah, I think that was the best one. Now, the Io Rhea Bianca match was probably the best match, but the best moment was Dominic Mysterio winning, because everybody was behind it. I think the crowd was literally split on who they wanted to win with Io Rhea Bianca, which is fine, but I think everybody, or 90% of the audience, was rooting for Dom, so that was definitely the moment of the weekend. KB, the main events for both nights should be swapped. 17 is what I wanted, but it was lackluster. 17 as in John Cena getting his 17th title win. She wanted it, but then it was just like, I was still sitting 5 minutes after the match waiting for something else to happen. I know. Me too. I kept waiting and waiting and waiting. I even went to sleep kind of expecting to wake up and have some parking lot brawl that the fans had caught. But no, we got nothing. That was it. very lacking of luster. She also says both triple threat matches were the highlights of the night. You know what they should have done? If they wanted to ruin wrestling so much, why didn't they put on John Cena and Cody Rhodes first? They should have put them on first, and then we could have had Bianca, Rhea, Io last, and then that could have been the proper main event of night 2, because that would have ruined wrestling, putting the undisputed title on first. So it would have gone with the storyline, and then we could have at least had an awesome match to close out Mania. Bobby Fair, who's leaving Judgment Day now? Well, if they keep Dom a face, then I guess Dom has to, but it's probably Finn. But can they keep Dom a heel? I don't know. I don't know if they can keep Dom a heel. Damn Nammy, no Rock. This is disappointing. Logan Paul should go after Jay now. Very disappointing. I already said what I said about The Rock, and Logan Paul versus Jay Uso. You know what? Didn't have that on my bingo card, but that would actually be a good match. Reality Rick, night 1 main event was the best match on the entire show, and it wasn't even remotely close. I would say storyline-wise, or the story they told in the ring, yes, you are right. The CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns match was the best, but when it comes to just pure matchup athletics, then I would give it to Bianca, Io, and Rhea. But it's debatable. It's literally debatable, but you're not wrong, it's just that's how I view it. Ahmed Ryan, number 1, the main event ending was not special, expected much more and got nothing. The Rock not being a part of the event was so underwhelming. At this point, WWE should just cancel the whole Rock sold his soul storyline, or sell your soul storyline. And I hate that people are going to be like, well, Ahmed, you got your expectations up high. The Rock never said he was going to show up. Give me a break. That'd be like WrestleMania 15, where Rock is part of the corporation fighting Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Vince McMahon decides to not show up. No, Vince was part of the storyline. He should be a part of that main event. Then we got number 2, Liv losing the tag team titles this early doesn't seem good to me, and Lyra is not ready to be a double champion. I hope Liv wins the IC title, and let's have Dom and Liv as IC couple. Holy crap, I didn't think of that. That would be amazing. Both of them as the Intercontinental Championship. That would then, I would be okay with this tag team loss if Liv then won the title. That would be so amazing. I love that idea. Zay Studios, my sleeper match was Drew vs. Priest. Very, very good. Gonna be underrated match. I think this is gonna be the sleeper match. You're absolutely right. This is gonna be the sleeper match of WrestleMania, in that it wasn't like spectacular, and yet it kind of was at the same time. Hoodfire Josh, I'm glad Rusev and Alistair didn't return against Randy, because it would have been a lose-lose situation. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Whoever was going to fight Randy had to lose. So do you want your returning guy to lose? Max01, Drew should dethrone Cena, and the crowd booing Cody the whole match is the perfect way to justify the inevitable heel turn. You're right on the heel turn. I would love if it was Drew, but I just don't think it will be. But I would love that. I would love that. Steamer Vodgod, don't see a lot of people talking about the New Day winning, but I'm glad they won. Their charisma is going to bring back the Raw Tag Team division, and an all right good decision. I agree. I don't think a lot of people are talking just because the War Raiders title reign was so lame, and unfortunately they kind of dropped the ball after the Big E heel turn, but now we're on the right course, and I'm very happy along with you about the New Day. Noah Trempy, the PLE cemented the fact that Triple H has no clue what he's doing on creative. This was his last opportunity to show the storyline aspect of most of these matches could be redeemed, and he's an utter failure. I don't think he's an utter failure. I do think, though, that maybe the pressure is on. Maybe the pressure's on. I'm not going to lie. I've been in private organizations where a corporation comes and takes over, and slowly but surely the corporation starts throwing their ideas down the boss's throat. So on some days I'm a little sympathetic for him, and then on other days I see 23 Hall of Fame packages and I'm like, nah, not sympathetic anymore. LTM 314, the main events of night 1, night 2 two should have been swapped. Oh, that would have been amazing. I would have loved that. Eddie Broski from Kentucky. Dom is the most over IC champ. GOAT Dom. I wouldn't say he's the most over IC champ because the Ultimate Warrior, holy cow. But I will say Dom had an amazing victory and an amazing pop. Zorro, things I hated. Becky, she somehow gets to be in the main event push. Well, she wasn't in the main event, but burying Bayley. I agree there. It's not fair that Bayley, who's been a good soldier throughout the entire year, got kicked off the card. Now, she was really injured like Rey Mysterio, that would be different, but she wasn't. And even if they throw her a big fat bonus for that, it's not cool because Bayley is an actual wrestling fan. And I don't think that was cool, and I don't think Becky would have appreciated it back in the day if somebody came and took her spot. So I don't know why Becky is now doing that to Bayley. Comic Head, I think Travis Scott was a poor choice to be involved in the main event feud. He basically never got on the mic and established a personality. He is physically very small. His music is popular, but he, as a personality, is not well known or popular. So yes, music-wise, great, but he's saying that his personality doesn't really showcase itself. And he also goes on to say, if they really wanted a rapper, I think guys like 2 Chainz and Wiz Khalifa come to mind. Well-known, bigger guys who could talk on the mic. So I do like this, that Comic Head isn't saying, I don't want a celebrity in this spot, but he wanted a celebrity that kind of fit within the confines of the story. I think that's key here. Because sometimes I think that just because you don't like rap, you don't want him in there. Because I don't really like Bad Bunny's music, but I do appreciate Bad Bunny. So Comic Head, I think your comment was spot on, and let's either give Travis Scott more of a personality, or maybe he shouldn't be a part of this this whole storyline. Yeah, I get it. John Cena, he hates us and he's ruining wrestling, but like you still got to make sense within the story. Ish Bikes though, here's a counterpoint to the whole TNA thing. I don't know who the TNA guy is, but salute him for getting that shot. That was amazing. So, well, you know what? Joe Hendry made his moment and found himself somebody who's now aware of him. So, like, there are pros to that, but I do still feel more on the TNA shouldn't have allowed their champion to be buried. Roman Reigns, where the heck was The Rock? And that's how we're going to end it, because where the heck was The Rock? That's how we're going to end Hot Take. Sorry if I didn't get everybody. I had to like really focus the first half of this video on the John Cena element of things, because I'd have to do hot takes on hot topics, and we'll do more for Monday Night Raw. We watch that live tonight, and then we do hot takes tomorrow. Boys, girls, have yourselves a great day.